During the war, we have been injured, right? And being who we are a national asset. So they're going to give you whatever it takes for you to perform. So at one point in my life, I was addicted to painkillers, carrying one painkiller in my coin pocket, waiting for the next feeling that I'm going to have to numb it. I was really messed up. No purpose. Hated the world.
Today, we sit down with founder and CEO of Ronin Tactics and 23 years of experience in the Special Forces, Tulam. We talk about the mental and physical effects that war has on you and how it can affect you. Today's video was made possible at Mulliganbrothers.com, where you can still get the Inspire Change t-shirts and the journals with the link in the description, where all the profits, as always, go back into creating this project and get our film crew all around the world. So I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's supported us at www.mulliganbrothers.com and also everybody who's clicked the join button down below.
I was part of a counter-assault team, working with the Secret Service, protecting our former president. At that time, I was really messed up, right? During the war, we have been injured, right? And being who we are a national asset. So they're going to give you whatever it takes for you to perform. And at that time, I was prescribed painkillers. Wow. What a powerful energy. Numbs you. Not just from this physical pain that I feel, it numbs my mind from this emotional pain. So I did. And used it. And it numbed me. So at one point in my life, I was addicted to painkillers. Carrying one painkiller in my coin pocket, waiting for the next feeling that I'm going to have to numb it. Wanted to hide. So after my time in service, I retired after 23 years of service, honorably retired. I want to put you on this day. I was going to my retirement ceremony. I was really messed up. Drug addict. No purpose. Hated the world. Couldn't see the joy in the day, So I was putting on my uniform, medals, all the way up to my shoulders, all my times in service. Putting on my uniform. Not even proud. Remember that proud young Green Beret? He's gone. And it started to rain. I remember it was raining so hard that day. My mother flew in from North Carolina to see me. And I was driving. I was in such I was having anxieties, I was driving with my mother to the restaurant. I apologized to my mother, it's raining so hard. I wish the day is better, Mom. I wish this. My mother said to me that, son, in the Asian culture, rain is needed to wash away the old. To make room for growth. And I was so blinded that day that I couldn't see what she was saying. Driving there, I was so in a bad place, So I retired. Let me tell you what I felt after I retired. 23 years. Saw the worst in humanity. Saw the worst in myself, right? I was in this drug addict. I was far off the path of the way, Bushido. Lost myself because hate took me off that path where I want to put you on this day, my wife, what an amazing person. She was with me through my whole career. Sacrificed it all. And here she is, this really accomplished person. And she was working up in Denver, Colorado, where she's this huge manager, right? Managing all these people. Master's degree, accomplished. Here I am, a 23-year commando. Laying in a dark room. Tired. You know, I thought that, you know, it's just, I was physically tired and I was injured, you know. Thought I was it, but it wasn't. Yeah, I had no purpose, you know. And I was a drug addict. So I was sitting here in this dark room, right? And my wife was working up in Denver, and for hours, I would watch a TV that's off, hearing the voices of the world. And I heard this one voice just so strong. This voice was so strong over any other voice. It said, "Get up." So I did. I walked around this dark house. Somehow this energy led me to my war room. You know, I have in this war room collection of books, collection of everything I accomplished in the military. Things all around the world, you know. Literature of warrior, Bushido. Blindly, I opened up the book and I pulled out a book. It's the Book of Five Rings. By Miyamoto Musashi. He was a Ronin. He was born in the late 1500s and died in 1645 after writing the Book of Five Rings in a Buddhist cave. Redondo Cave, a spirit rock. Kumamoto, Japan. So then I tried to understand the words from this Ronin. And then, you know, what it said when I opened up this book, fast forward now, defeated. Post-military career, drug addict. Opened up this book blindly and it said, you know, everything exists. Everything exists within. Look nowhere else. You know, at that point I was looking for the answers everywhere else. I was looking for the answers in these painkillers. Trying to draw the strength from my wife. Calling ex-teammates. Trying to draw what is external to affect how I felt internally. Internally I was defeated. So these words from a Ronin reminded me of Bushido and how far I came off the path. And I made a choice that day to be something more. I don't know what it is, but to be something more. Just like I was 9 years old, I didn't know what the strength was that's stronger than hate. But I'm gonna be something more. So there it was. I took all the painkillers and I dumped it down the toilet. Let me explain this to you. Painkillers, antidepressants, sleeping pills, those were my addictions, you see. Because during the war, we had to stay awake during a reconnaissance mission. So we take Adderall. And then when we come back, we're on the pager. So our instincts, we can never rest because our mind is constantly, if that pager goes, you're gonna go on that mission. Right, and that mission is life and death. It's that real. So what I'm saying is very hard to turn off the human senses of survival. So they'll give us, you know, sleeping pills. And then if you're in pain, you start taking painkillers, you understand? I dumped it all. And I sat with myself for the 30 days, you know, the first 30 days, the withdrawal symptoms, the pain, the shivering, the voices became louder. And I studied mind and body, right? So I remember there was during a certain phase of my military career, we just came out of Basilan Island where we fought the Abu Sayyaf, right, in southern Philippines. And we went into mountain warfare training where we were training in the Himalayas. It was in this training, it was over a month of training with the Indian Commando Forces. Cliff assaults, you know. Free climbing with equipment, machine guns, in this rigorous environment. 18,500 feet, no oxygen up there. Training at that intensity, commandos. You know, on the weekends, you know, we would be exhausted. So, you know, guys want to sleep. But for the samurai, you know, I needed to go visit the Tibetan monks. So I grabbed one of my loyal commandos and he drove me to this Tibetan monk. And because he was a commando, the monks would let him in. They usually don't let Westerners in there. And he the monk asked the commando, what does he seek? Wisdom. I walked up to this monk and I said, monk, why is the world so cruel? He smiled, he came up, he grabbed my hand, he shook my hand, he pulled me out in the back. It was an open field, behind his temple. Took the stick, he drew it on the ground, he threw 2 sacks on. One was black stones and white was white stones. And for many years, he said he would sit there and he would look at this circle on the ground. And he has a bad thought. He would take a black pebble, throw it into the circle on the ground. For many years, he said. For many years, 4 years. He said it was all black. And now it's all white. I asked the monk what changed. Why? He said, you see, the world is so cruel because we're unaware of our emotions within the moments. And if we take inventory of our emotions, then we have a choice. And the world is so cruel because people are unaware of their emotions. If we have more control of our emotions, would the world not be so cruel? It's very Confucius, You wish the world be a better place. It begins with you. Then, the next weekend I came back and visited a monk and we were sitting out in this mountain range. Huge, right? Himalayas, can you imagine? So beautiful. We're up at the border of Pakistan, China, India. So beautiful. Snow up at the peaks. And this monk I sat with this monk and he reminded me how beautiful this morning was. How beautiful this day was. You say I didn't see it. I see it visually, but I wasn't there. I was trapped in pain. So I saw the ugly in everything. I wish this morning would hurry up and be over so I can go drink some coffee. Why is this monk sitting here for so long? My back's hurting. I looked at the negative things, but yeah, here he is present, and I wasn't, right? So fast forward that, throughout the weekends, I would practice with this monk and he taught me death. He had me meditate on death. That's the Tibetan practice, to meditate on death every morning. The samurais in Shinto practice is to meditate on death. Bushido is to meditate on death. And what that means is, for during that time, I would practice like I should have died here, I should have died here, I should have died here, life is great. But now I practice it in a way where if this was your last day on this earth, if you're sitting there in the morning and you're embracing what is beautiful and you ask yourself in a moment of death, you say, this is my last day on this earth. Will you not savor that morning? All the things that bother you in life, would it just not go away? So the samurais, they keep death near, So these 3 practices alone, I wrote them down because I reflected on my journey, right? So basically when I became Ronin, there was a certain process of rebirth where I shut down the world and I cocooned myself and I worked on myself. I shut down all my teammates, I shut down every external voice, and I heard only myself. The moment of rebirth. So how does one do it, right? Like, I could say to you, hey man, don't you want to live a life that's like happy? Don't you want to be grateful? And let's just say you go outside and say, I'm grateful for everything. You really think that sticks in? There's a practice. And that draws off a discipline.
I want to say a massive thank you to Tulam for doing this with us. His socials are below. And I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has supported us at Mulliganbrothers.com. Everybody who bought an Inspire Change t-shirt, hoodie, or the journal. Thank you so much. If you follow the link in the description to the website, all the profits, as always, go back into creating this content. It means we can get our film crew around the world to find these people and make these projects. I also want to say a massive thank you to everybody who has become a channel member with the join button down below. And lastly, anybody who hasn't, please hit that notification bell. We have lots of new projects coming up. And this year is going to be our biggest year yet, where Neve, my sister, Neve Mulligan X, William Mulligan Brother, at Luke Mulligan Brother, at Jordan Mulligan Brother on Instagram, we fly around the world finding the greatest and latest motivation. We also have a few extremely special projects planned this year. Thank you to everybody. Have a blessed and productive day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.